Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn. On this video, I'm going to show you how I designed in Cricut Design Space these cute Christmassy earrings. I cut them out of cork and I thought I'd get a jump start on some Christmas earrings. Now there's two things that I did that I think help make these earrings a success. If you've watched many of my videos, you know I don't like to have the machine cut my holes. I like to punch them myself. And so the first thing that I did was I made a stencil of the earring with holes in it. I cut that out of vinyl. I laid it down on top of my pieces, and then I punched them out with this really small punch tool that I got off of Amazon. And I really love this. I'll talk more about this in the video and why I like it so much. Now, if you're a Glowforge user and you're interested in these earrings, my next video, I'm going to make the same design in Inkscape, a free design software, and then I'll cut them out of a different material in my Glowforge. But for now, if you like Cricut Design Space and you're going to use your Cricut to cut them, then join me for my video. Marilyn, today we're going to design some really cute earrings in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to go ahead and start with a circle. And I want my circle to be 1.75 inches around, so it is locked. The proportions are locked. So I'll just change it to 1.75. Then I'll go ahead and make my screen a little bit larger so we really see the details. The second thing I'll do is click duplicate. And then I want this second circle to be about 1.15 inches. So that I can see it contrasted against the other circle, I'll go ahead and change the color to white. What I want to do is I want to move the circle so that when I slice it, I have kind of a donut shape left. And I wanted each side, or all the way around, to be at least 1/4 of an inch wide and just slightly more than that. So I took the full circle, 1.75, minus 1/2, that would have been 1.25, and then I made it just a little bit smaller to have slightly more than 1/4 inch here. So I'm going to select both shapes, and then I want to align them, or I want to center them vertically and horizontally. So I can click right down here, and there you go. Now both shapes are selected, and if you have 2 items selected, you can use the slice feature. So I will go ahead and slice it out. Now I just need to delete what I sliced out. And here's what we have left. Then I want another circle. This circle is going to be at the top of my earring. I want it to be, let's go with 0.6. And it will be about right here. Then I need 3 more little circles. I'll duplicate this once, get it to the size that I want it. And I've played around with this to know what size I want it. The trick is, well, let me go ahead and duplicate 2 more and you'll see. Okay. The trick is having them small enough so that they all fit down here where I want them. Now think about how something hangs. It hangs straight down. So if I put a jump ring, if I put the jump ring here and went over to here, well, this earring is just going to fall down. The jump ring has to be going straight up and down for it to work. I don't want to use a huge jump ring to go from right here to all the way up here. So these have to be a little smaller than what they are right now. I'll go ahead and get rid of 2 of those until I determine my size. Let's try 0.5. So I'll get them basically into position. And I would still have quite a distance to span. I made them once before at 0.4, and I thought that was just a little bit small, so I'm going to kind of split the difference. I'm going with 0.43. So I'll duplicate 2 more of those. There we go. Okay. I think they're going to have to be a little closer together than that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to select my 3 little circles. So I'm going to hold down the command button and select all 3. Then I'm going to go up to a line and I want to distribute them horizontally. So it's going to make sure that the same space here is over here. So I'll click that. It doesn't look like anything really moved much. Let's try it. Let me get one really out of whack so you can see that. I'll have to go back and redo it because now it'll move, probably this bottom one will move over. It's not going to move just the outside one over. It's going to just distribute the spacing equally. I will select all 3. And if you haven't used this or discovered this, it's pretty slick. Distribute horizontally. Okay, so you see it just moved the middle and over so that it's truly centered between the outside 2 circles. Again, this is just too far over. There's too much space to span there. So I'll just go through this process one more time of distributing those. Okay, the other thing is I'm going to select my top 2 circles and I'll go ahead and align those. I'll just align the bottoms. All right. So now that I have the 3 circles the way I want them, I'll go ahead and group those together. Now that this is grouped as one, I can just select everything. Since I'm going to hand put these together, this part wouldn't matter so much, but I want to see what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and center horizontally. And that's what my final earring will look like. Now I like to punch my own holes, and I want to show you a new tool that I got, or a new set of tools to do that. However, you have to be pretty perfect, pretty dead on here to do it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a vinyl copy or a template of the earring made out of vinyl where I have the machine cut the holes. Then I can lay that vinyl on top of my earrings and I'll know exactly where to punch the holes. So again, I'm going to start with a circle. And I'm going to make this 0.0, I used to use 0.07. I think I'm going to actually go a little smaller with 0.05. And I'll turn it white so that we can really see it. Then I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these circles. So let's go ahead and duplicate it 8 more times. Okay, they're scattered all over the place, but I have them. Let me blow this up some more. I'll leave that for now because in a minute I'll go ahead and move this one on to the circle, and it's further away from the bottom than the top one is from the top. Move it down just a little bit. Really, I think that top one is slightly too close to the top. Okay, so now I'm going to select all 3 of those things and align, center horizontally. Notice that I can't slice. That's because I have 3 things selected. I have both circles and the big circle. So I'll select the big circle and hold down Command. And then this one should be selected and the slice lit up, so it is. So I'll slice that. Now my little circle down here went to the back. So let's just send this, arrange. Let's just send the big circle to the back. There we go, it showed back up. Now I'll slice the second one. So I have the big circle selected. I'll select the little circle down here. Again, I can slice. All right, let's move that out of the way. And then I can highlight everything that's left, get rid of it all at one time. Okay, I'll move this up about where it should go. And then I'll just start dragging the rest of these to where they need to be, generally speaking. Now before I move on, I thought of another way that I could attach the big circle to something up here. Let me duplicate this. I've seen this design online. I think it's really cute. I haven't seen it necessarily with this design, but I've seen it as an option. So I want to click on Shapes, get a square, and I'm going to turn the square white. Make it a lot smaller. What I want to do is cut off the bottom half or the top half, it doesn't matter, of this circle. So I'm putting it where the center of it is on this line, so then I can tell about where to slice it. And that looks pretty good, so I'll select both items, slice, and here's what I'd want to keep. I can just delete everything else. Now, the way I've seen these things used is typically flipped over like that. If you did that, then just remember, if you want the Cricut to cut your holes, you would need to have another little bitty circle up here. You could select that circle and this piece, click a line, center horizontally, and then slice, and you'd be good to go. But I'm going to go ahead and stay with my original design like this. So you might remember I said I was going to use a stencil to know where to cut my holes. So I'm going to duplicate this, and one of these will be my stencil, one will be the actual earring. I'm going to turn my stencil just a gray color. So I want all of the holes in the stencil, but in the earring I don't. So I can click on each one of these and I can hit contour. Now I want to see something. If they were grouped together still, would that work? Okay, I didn't think so. So if you've grouped things together, ungroup them, and then just click on each one. Here's the contour button. Click on it. And then we're keeping the main shape. So I can click on Hide All Contours, and you see it's grayed out the two circles. Exactly how I want it. Now on this one, contour, and hide all contours. Nope, that's going to take the middle one out. So let's go ahead and bring that one back. And there we go. Now these last three, I probably can't do them at one time. Now if I decided to welt them I could, but I don't really want to do that. So I could either do them one by one, which isn't going to take a lot of time, or I could just do one and then duplicate it 2 more times and get rid of my other small circles that I already had on there. But this is really fast in this case, so I'll just do them individually. Now I need a second earring, so I'll click duplicate, and then I need a second stencil. If I wanted it to print like this, I would need to attach them. It's okay that they don't print like that, so I'm not going to attach them, but I will click duplicate. So let's see how the Cricut would cut them out if I send it now. I'm going to click on Make It. So it's starting with the stencil. What I can do to save some vinyl, I'm using really inexpensive vinyl, so it's not as big of a deal, but I can move these circles over into this center part here, the cutout part. And you could do that on your design screen when we were actually designing it, or you can do it when I'm doing it here. Either way will work fine. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and I'm just using something that I think will cut well. I've used it many times on this everyday iron-on. So I'll click that, and now I need to make sure my fine point blade's in. I'll turn the camera angle around and we'll start cutting. I just put this scrap of inexpensive black vinyl on my mat. So let's go ahead and start the cut. Okay, let's cut this off and see if it looks like it's going to work well. I'm just going to pull up the excess vinyl while it's still on my mat. And then there's each of these little bitty circles to get out. And I will not bore you with all of that. So the next step is to get my cork. I'm going to use cork instead of leather. I just thought these would be super cute for Christmas. Now on cork, you have, a lot of the times you have little lines that go a certain direction. I want those to be horizontal, so it'll be important that I put my cork on the mat like this and not like this. And you know what? I said that, but since I am punching my own holes, it really wouldn't matter which way I put it on. But I do want to protect my mat because I have often found that cork stains whatever it's sticking to. So I'm just going to use this really inexpensive contact paper. I bought white by mistake once. I really like the transparent for purposes of transfer paper. But I bought white, so I'm just trying to use it up. Now, once I get my cork put on my mat, I'll press down harder so that I know I have good adhesion. I'm not going to worry about protecting the rest of my mat. I really think that the main part it likes to transfer is where there's a lot of pressure on it. We'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong about that. Then I like to cut pretty side down. So I'm really going to press hard up here. Going to avoid pressing so hard everywhere else. And just because I like to, I'm going to check my blade, make sure there's no vinyl stuck to it, none of those little circles that we just cut out. I stopped my machine really quickly because I realized I had not changed the cut setting. This would have cut out as vinyl, and I want to use the shimmer leather setting for my cork. Okay, I think I'm really ready this time. Okay, looks like those cut out just really nicely. Really, this leather or this cork did not stain even this. When I've used my cheetah cork, it really stains what it's on. So I probably could have skipped that step. Now I've lost one of them, and there it is. It just didn't release. Also, I wanted to be a little more careful with this cut, so I didn't move my little circles into the inside. I can reuse this on something else. Now I got the rest of the holes out of all my pieces of vinyl. And you could probably peel them off and put them on here without any transfer paper. I'll try that first. If I use transfer paper, I'll use this Contact Brand Transparent. But let me see if this works very well. Okay, because I want my lines to go horizontal, I do need to have the hole above or below them, not have it turned like that. So that wasn't too bad. Let me try some with transfer tape. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot easier. I can see through it, and I can really not have to mess with it with my fingers so much. So it looks like it's pretty well centered on it. Yeah, I didn't pay attention. Did I have it on the right way? I do. I just realized I didn't take all the holes out of this one. Okay, that took a little extra time, but let's see if it was worth it. Now, the new punch tools that I got just recently, I bought them off of Amazon, and it is a whole lot of punches. The reason I wanted these is I love the tool that I often use, but when you are trying to get in really small spaces, such as the top of a teardrop shaped earring, and you need to get really close to the top so you don't have to use 2 extra jump rings, I wanted to have just a really tiny punch. These go all the way down to a 1/2 millimeter, just a tiny bit too small. The one that I've been using a lot is this one, and it is a 1 millimeter, just a really small hole. So now I can use the stencil, and I know exactly where to punch. Then I like to cover over this end with a scrap piece of leather because it's not as loud when you punch it, and it doesn't freak my dogs out. So you punch. Then if your punch is slightly stuck into that and you turn it over and you can see it on the other side, you're good to take it out. Whoops. And if it's stuck, like in leather, sometimes it's harder to get out. You can just twist it. In this, it really didn't matter. So it's stuck on it. I just twist it and pull it out. So I'll go ahead and punch the rest of the holes, put my earrings together, and show you a picture of them at the end. I'll also link to these tools in the description of the video, so if you're interested in those, I appreciate your support. I do get a small commission from qualifying purchases, and that really helps me out. Now my battery's running low, so I'm going to go ahead and put the little jump rings and the fish hook on one pair. Hopefully I get that done before I run out of camera or out of battery. I'll just put several of those out. I have a really small pair of needle nose pliers. I got those at Harbor Freight. They were only like $2 or $2.99, something like that. So I'm just going to place the jump ring through that side of the cork, and then you want it so that your tops are both facing up or your backs are both facing up. That will get it to the right place. Then I like to use this little closing tool. The metal I'm using today isn't real hard to move, and so actually you can do it just with your fingers, but sometimes the metal is harder, and the jump ring opener and closer really helps out nicely. And I really like this blackened metal with this cork. The little streaks in the cork are kind of blackish, and so it looks really nice. Now notice I'm twisting everything sideways. You do not want to spread your jump rings and your fish hooks apart. So cute so far. That would be cute by itself. Okay guys, I'm getting a warning that my battery's getting low. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one, show you a picture at the end. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I know this is a long video. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Until the next video, I'll see you later.